Hello. My name is Tammy Fletcher. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist here in California. Today, I would like to discuss stigma labeling and correlation with mental illnesses. I was surfing the web when I came across a website named time.com. I'm sure everyone is familiar with the magazine called Time. Well, this is just their web version. As I was searching this website, I came across an article called Redefining Crazy. When that article was published, many people had mixed emotions about the article. A lot of people felt offended. They didn't understand why people were trying to use words like that. I believe as a therapist that it is my job to try to help people understand different concepts that have to go along with mental illnesses. And what I mean by that is how society uses words and how that can have a negative effect on people that have mental problems. Words such as bipolar, schizo, or crazy, words like that. When people use words like that, it has a negative effect on people that have a mental illness. Those people feel like they have been labeled a bad person in a negative way. The people with mental illnesses feel judged. And that's not in a good way. This article that is called Redefining Crazy tried to focus on a book that therapists use, also psychologists used, and the book is called DSM. DSM stands for Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. This is the book. That's my own personal copy of the book. And the book can be very resourceful. Inside of the DSM book, it has a lot of different lists of different types of mental disorders, such as sexual mental disorders, eating disorders, mental retardation, autism, schizophrenia. Depression is one of the diseases that are on the list. There's hundreds of different diseases in this side of this book. Some of the diseases are mild, but other diseases need to be taken very seriously. Recently, this is the book that us doctors and psychologists use to label people that have these mental illnesses. But in 2013, a new book will be published. A new DSM book will be published. So doctors and psychologists have been discussing what needs to be included in this new DSM book. And that is the main topic of this article that came out. But the article went a little off course. Just the title alone is called Redefining Crazy. And that's a negative title to have. The writers of this article kind of used a negative language to talk about people that have mental illness problems. There is a disease inside of the article that the writers decided to write about, and this disease starts with the letter D, and the disease means that the disease has to do with people who have a chronic skin picking problem. And it's a serious problem. I see it in a lot of different people. But the article kind of bashed these people. The article says that people who have this disorder, they have more of a reality show problem. That it's not that serious. But a lot of people were upset over that. They didn't want to read that kind of thing. The DSM book is important for several different reasons. One of the reasons the DSM book is important is because it helps diagnose the people with their mental illness problems. It helps pick out which disorder they have and how to help this person cope and improve with their illness. But it also uses language that many people can use. It's common language that people will understand. Another reason the DSM book is an important book to have is because, let's just say that you want to go see your therapist and have a session with them. Well, if you want to go do that and you want to use your insurance to pay for this therapy session, what can happen is your insurance company is going to want your therapist to use the diagnostic number from the DSM book and report it to the insurance company. So your therapist will write it down and send it into the insurance company. And your insurance company has two options to deal with that. They can either accept your diagnosis and help you pay for that, or they can unfortunately reject you. So in order for this to happen, if your insurance decides to pay for your diagnosis and all of your therapy sessions, your therapist needs to keep up with the insurance company. What I mean by your therapist keeping up with the insurance company is your therapist needs to keep giving them updated info on how your mental illness is coming along. Another reason why the DSM book is important to have, but I also think that any book is a good book to have, is because what happens if there's a person who has a mental illness? Well, you can't just match the mental illness up with a word in one side of these books. You can't just do that. You need to be able to analyze this person. You need to know this person. You need to understand what keeps happening over and over again in order for this person to have these symptoms lead up to have this disorder. You cannot just look at this person, label them with a disorder, or diagnose them with a disorder, and then call it a day. You must be able to pick apart the specific personality traits this person have and put them together to be able to diagnose this person. I think that a big problem with this article is that people who have or have had mental illness problems, they feel vulnerable. Because maybe people who wrote this article or who are reading this article, they might not understand. They could feel like people don't understand them. And that people won't respect them. I also think that the information in this article wasn't very trustworthy. I would expect that these people would support people with mental illness problems, but it seems like